What's up, old school metal maniacs? Welcome back to the channel. Now, I have never done an unboxing video before, mostly because my interest in metal has been fading in the last few years, and as a matter of fact, the amount of metal vinyl I bought in the last 2 years is pretty miserable, to say the least, but somehow I decided to place a huge order to a nice German label called Darkness Shall Rise Productions, which got delivered today. There it is, it's 8 kilograms of brand new vinyl ready to be unboxed. And just like that, let me start off. Now, this is an order I decided to place since this label has been on my radar for quite some time. They released a lot of interesting stuff, including some Master's Hammer demo tape, vinyl demo tape reissue, which should be included in this incredibly massive package, which I'm having hard times unboxing. Let me remove all the sticky tapes in here and see what's inside. So yeah, this is supposedly about 20 records that I decided to buy because there are some holes in my collection, in my death metal collection, which needed to be filled. And just like that, here we are. So let's see if everything is included, but I guess so, because the guy is very, very reliable. What do we start off? With a lot of cardboard. We got the Darkness Shall Rise production booklet, which I believe includes some series. Oh, very interestingly, very, very well done. Usual amount of flyers, some, yeah, shit, my cat, and what else? Lots of stuff included, everything but the vinyl. So here it is. This is the first box of vinyl. Lulu, please, not needed in this moment. So let me unbox this one and see what's inside. Extremely well packed, gotta say. First of all, okay, we have Master, Saints Dispel. This is actually the last Master album. Now, Master is one of those bands that, in my opinion, doesn't really have an incredibly great album out in their discography, but somehow doesn't even have, on the other side, an incredibly bad album. It's one of those bands whose discography is very consistent, I would say. I would say like my favorite one would probably be On the Seventh Day, God Created Master. Other than that, they've been releasing tons of stuff over the years. This is their last album. Master is kind of like the Motorhead of death metal, in my opinion. You can't possibly go wrong with any of their releases. Probably won't be the best thing since sliced bread, but it's still a Master album, and as such, probably incredibly good. Next up, Ceremonial Oath, the Book of Truth. Now, I sold the original version of this album some weeks ago, but since I moderately enjoy this record, I decided to buy the reissue that I believe Century Media put out not too long ago. Was it? No, is it Floga Records, actually. Very cool cover artwork, very cool reissue. I believe this is pressed at GZ, just like all Floga Records stuff, but at least they had a good idea of coming up with glossy cardboard for this one. So yeah, definitely thumbs up for this edition. I do not regret selling the original if I can buy the reissue for like, I think it was a special offer, like a discounted piece, 15 euros, something like that, whereas my original sold for like 250, so I can be pretty fine with it. Is this a booklet? Yep, I think it's a booklet, including some interview, old band pictures. Okay, very satisfied with this. Definitely an album which I was thinking about reacquiring, and there it is. Next up, I really don't remember what this album is. Like, what's the name of this band? Cerebral Engorgement. Now, I got this one as a replacement because originally had placed an order for Master's Hammer Ritual, the new version, which they put out. The remastered, which somehow they decided to release after finding the original tape and polishing it. And somehow that one was sold out, so I decided to replace it with this Cerebral Engorgement LP. I beg your pardon if I'm not familiar with this band. I only listened to a couple of songs on YouTube. I like them. Typical death grindcore, which is my favorite death metal, my favorite metal genre these days. So yeah, again, pretty cool presentation. Nothing to complain about. Probably a record I will enjoy, hopefully. Moving on, okay, Running Wild. Now this is the picture disc reissue, courtesy of Hammer Heart Productions. I hope it is the picture disc, because, yeah, it is the picture disc, because I already own, of course, the original version. Pretty cool looking. I'm a sucker for Running Wild. I think I own, like, pretty much everything they put out, except for a couple of picture discs. This is not the original first press, because if I remember correctly, there was no original first press branded and exiled on a picture disc. The album only came out as a regular black vinyl, so it's incredibly cool to own the picture disc. There was a bootleg put out by Metal as Blood Records, I believe, some ages ago, but somehow I couldn't get my hands on that one, and it's so much better to have an original one, because this is an officially licensed, I would say, release on yeah, Hammer Heart Records. So again, a pretty cool one. Now Lulu's been sitting, Lulu is my cat, by the way, and he's been sitting on the next batch of records, which I have to remove from the main parcel, and hopefully he will not interfere too much. He's already trying to start in the episode. Probably the most important, the most interesting part of this unboxing thing is gonna be my cat. So what's inside this box? I have no idea, because I don't really remember what I ordered, except for the Master's Hammer stuff. So, first of all, what we have here is the... oh, okay, Gehenna, the Black Seared Heart LP. Now, you might remember, this was probably the... I had an episode dedicated to the original version of this album, which I called I Sold the Most Expensive, or was it like the rarest album in my collection? Because the original pressing of this album was indeed the rarest album I ever owned. It was released on Holocaust Records on a limited edition of 100 copies, and I swore I would never ever get rid of it, but somehow the offer I got was just impossible to turn down. So yeah, I had to settle down for the CD version, and now that the label Darkness Shall Rise put out a reissue, I had just to go for it, and let's see what's inside. Pretty solid jacket, really reeks of, yeah, this is definitely a GZ Productions, but it is what it is these days. Yep, GZ, but at least they had the dignity to come up with a proper pressing. What's inside of it? Like a gigantic booklet, filled to the brim with interviews, all pictures, absolutely beautiful. So yeah, I'm very happy to have it back in the collection. I still kind of partially regret selling my original, but for, I believe I got 800 euros, something like that. Pretty insane load of money, so I will definitely live pretty fine with a CD and with this nice LP. What is this, like, yeah, redeem card to download the damn thing at Bandcamp. Very much appreciated, in case you're willing to bring your Gehenna stuff with you on your phone. Then we have the first spell, again by Gehenna, and again that's the reissue that Darkness Shall Rise put out. One more LP which I sold not too long ago, absolute fave of mine. Really great reissue as far as I can tell. I mean, I haven't played the stuff yet, so I believe it will not sound like crap, but the cover artwork looks absolutely like the original. It's in pristine conditions, of course, since it's brand new. Booklet included, poster included. Another record which I regret selling. But then again, you know, like it's when you get an offer that is 100% satisfying, just grab it, because vinyls are not coming. Vinyl, because the plural vinyl is still vinyl. Vinyl is not coming in the grave with you. Next up, Broken Hope, Mutilated and Assimilated. Again, a band whose discography I decided to give shortenage, because like I had like I don't know, 5 records by then, wasn't really listening to them, or better said, again, I got a ton of money for each of the first 3 releases that Emetic Records put out. Never had the chance to listen to this album, which apparently is their last one, at least the latest one they released. Pretty killer cover artwork, so being a Broken Hope fan, I don't think I'm gonna get disappointed. What's next? Bloodfist. Oh, Bloodfist. Absolutely great thrash metal band, very underrated in my opinion. I'm a big fan of the band, own pretty much everything they released, and when they put out an album, I just knew I had to go for it. I wonder what kind of vinyl color is this. It's probably written on the sticker, but let me just find out. It's the black vinyl edition. Fine enough. Expecting nothing else than a thrash grenade from these guys. You can't possibly go wrong with Bloodfist. It's one of those bands that never failed to impress, except for maybe on the Chopping Block Blues album, which was sort of subpar. But other than that, pretty killer album, pretty killer band with a flawless discography, I would have to say. Next up, Acheron, Lex Talionis. Now, if you follow me, you might know that like I have some problems with this band because of their delusional political views, but somehow I think this album is a classic, and just like that it deserved a place in my collection, because the previous vinyl edition was put out by a German label whose name escapes me now, and it was a very, very miserable edition, which included some alternate whatever cover artwork, which I believe the guy himself or his girlfriend came up with, and which was absolutely terrible. This one gets the vinyl treatment done the proper way, because it includes the original cover artwork. The logo, unfortunately, they decided to go for the old one, which in my opinion is kind of weaker. The intros are included, so yeah, that's definitely a classic. Now, you might not dislike, you might not necessarily, share the guy's views, but the music is there, no question about it. This and Rites of the Black Mass are definitely some of the strongest US black death metal. Oh, Epitaph, next up, Seeming Salvation, yet another album that I sold. I had the original version of this album, got an offer like 350 euro, and I say, okay, fuck it, for that amount of money. Maybe it was even more than that. I think it was 420. That was the money I was offered, and I said like, okay, whatever. I will just buy the reissue. Here it is. This is the reissue that I believe. I can't remember which label put it out. The Crypt Records put it out. Really great label. Orange splatter vinyl. This will do fine, because I absolutely loved the album. I was kind of like sad to let it go, but for 420 euro, I'm probably letting my whole family go. Just kidding, of course, but you get a point. Next up, Dismember, Misanthropic. Now, this is mini LP, which was originally only released on CD format. Of course, the album it's taken from is Massive Killing Capacity from 1995, which is when Dismember tried to get kind of like death and rollish. Their sound was slightly slower than it used to be on Indecent and Obscene. I decided to buy this one because, like Dismember is Dismember. I tried to collect pretty much everything concerning the band. 5 songs. I never got hold of the original mini CD, so this is a nice addition to the collection. Next up, Oh, this is another band which I'm a huge fan of. Gruesome Stuff Relish, Last Man in Gore. This is apparently a compilation album, but I'm such a big fan of the band that I just had to go for it, even if it's a compilation. Normally I don't buy compilations, but in Gruesome Stuff Relish, that's pretty cool edition with cutout front cover. Got a chance to witness this band live at, I believe, Partisan back in 2017, if memory doesn't fail me. And I had never listened to the band before, and I fell in love with this band. Absolutely killer death, thrash metal, old school stuff, rooted in the likes of Impetigo and those old death grind bands. Totally recommend it if you don't know them yet. Spanish band. Really glad to complete their vinyl discography so far. Next up, Acheron again, Hail Satanic Victory. Now, the history behind the Satanic Victory mini album is kind of like long to tell. It was originally released as Hail Satanic Victory, as a CD only release on, I believe, Lethal Records from Austria, which was another rip-off label from back in the day. It went through a couple of rare releases. It was later renamed as Satanic Victory. I believe Neil, before the Master's Throne Records, put out a reissue of this album with different cover artwork. This goes back to the old days when Mike Browning was still part of the band. It includes the intros, so it should definitely appeal to me. It probably consists of a full-length album at this point, because they included also the Alaxul 7-inch CP, which I sold, so that's a plus again, because this way, you know, I'm like building back my collection. Every little record I sold and felt like it would still deserve to be part of my collection is now back in it, even if as a repress. Last batch of records, it's probably the heaviest one, by far the heaviest one, so I wonder what's inside it. Probably the Master's Hammer stuff, which is, you probably know that I'm a huge, and I mean huge with a capital H, Master's Hammer fanboy. Kind of curious to see how the reissues turned out and what's the pressing quality. Starting off with, oh, this is massive. The Vracite Conve na Mesto LP, the double LP. Now, I bought this LP upon release as a single vinyl release, and somehow decided to re-release it as a double LP. I seem to remember the band promised it would be released on a glossy covered cardboard, and somehow this is not glossy, so it is what it is. Not exactly sure this is the best spent 35 euros of my life, but I'm collecting pretty much everything the band puts out. There is like some lyrics shit included, whatever. Pressing quality, I mean, a typical GZ product. So far, I think everything has been pressed. Everything I, bought has been pressed at GZ, which is not a good thing. But again, like, what can you possibly do about it other than complain? Vinyl color. There's an etched side D, which is something I completely hate. Why do you have to do that? You could have just re-released it as a single LP, but then again, this is supposed to be supreme audiophile quality, to be played at 45 rounds per minute, so what do I know, really? Next up, what do we have here? I have no idea. Again, Master's Hammer, the Gileminički Occultista, the Gilemnis Occultist reissue. Again, a brilliant album. I don't need to tell you how important an album like this was in the development of black metal in the early 90s. They came up with some pretty cool band picture, which I believe was... no, it's not the same picture included in the original version. It's from the same sessions, definitely. Was the kind soul of monster who sadly passed away some time ago. What else did they include with it? Probably some lyrics and shit, just like in the other LP. Yeah, some booklet, whatever. Not like I'm ever gonna go through the lyrics of this album because my check is kind of rusty, but yeah, pretty solid, I would say, reissue, but I don't know, I'm under the impression that even if, you know, like this is probably the fourth or so different reissue of the album which I'm buying, I always end up playing my original, so I'm either an incredibly stupid person or just a collector. Well, in Master Zemmer's case, you might as well call me a collector, because it's a fact that I buy pretty much everything the band puts out, because I'm such a huge fanboy. They've been like my fave black metal band next to Grotesque since the early 90s, and it's still that way, so yeah. There you go. I couldn't, unfortunately, you know, like the thing with GZ jackets is that they're just too, you know, thin, and you will have to hard press the LP inside to get it back to its original position, which is one of the many reasons why I totally loathe this pressing plant. But again, what the hell can I do? Next up, apparently more Master's Hammer stuff. Yep, that's the live in Zbraslav. My Czech friends would probably kill me for the pronunciation. Now, this is part of the series of reissues that Darkenshire Rise put out, and that I never had a chance to acquire. Cat is still not giving up on his chances to be the start of this episode. Very curious indeed. There is a poster apparently included. Yep. Pretty cool poster. Please don't step on my vinyl. Kind of curious to listen to this thing. It's probably recorded from the early days, yeah, because it includes songs from the very first production of the band. Again, this redeeming card, pretty cool booklet with ancient pictures, so yeah, pretty satisfied with this one. I think it's the colored vinyl pressing even. Somehow two of the demo tape reissues that the label put out escaped my radar, and they're now sold out, so I guess I will still have to look for them. Next up, it's the Ritual Murder, again by Master's Hammer, still on the same label. I believe that the outcome will be exactly the same, just like with the other albums. Yeah, pretty much the same, so let me just put it back. I will have to have, like, there is a pretty busy listening experience coming on my weekend. Hopefully I will find enough time to play this ridiculous amount of records I got. Next up, and probably, yeah, this is the last LP actually, the lot. And this is probably the one I was looking up for the most. It's the official live album by Master Hammer, Live Occult Rituals, which is actually a gift from the label, because like the band was looking for pictures taken from the concert which this album is taken from, and incidentally I attended the gig, and I took some very, very nice pictures from the front row, and I sent them over to the label, and unfortunately I was a bit late to the party, because at that point the band had already come up with a layout for the LP, which is kind of cool. Let me see what is inside of it. Yeah, there's a poster, and I hope some booklet somewhere with, yeah, pictures from that gig. Yep. Let me see. Yeah, I dare to say that I have even better pictures than the ones that they included. It's the one they played at Brno in their hometown. Of course, I stand corrected. Prague is their hometown. I was at that gig, front row, took some very, very nice pictures. And yeah, I sent them over to the label, but they said like, unfortunately, we would have loved to publish them, but it's kind of late now, so please accept this kind of gift. And they sent me like a free copy of the triple vinyl edition of the album, which is very, very much appreciated, since this was one of the best black metal gigs I've ever attended, if not the very best one. Still have very fond memories of that one night. I attended like 6 shows after Master's Hammer got reformed in the 2017, starting with the very first appearance in Prague. Then there was the show they played at the Brutal Assault Festival, and 4 more would follow. So really fond memories of this show. It would be a pleasure to listen to it. So guys, that does it for this episode. This is the very first time I do an unboxing video, so I apologize if the information I provided was not as useful as in the previous ones, but it is what it is. If you like the format, feel free to let me know in the comments, and maybe next time I'm ordering something, I will come up with yet another incredibly confusing review of everything I bought. There is indeed a lot of stuff here. Now probably I will not order anything else for the next year or so, but that's what it is when you have like 3,000 metal records in your collection. And that's, you know, what happens. You just don't buy that much stuff anymore. So guys, hope you enjoyed this different episode. Until the next time, keep it loud and heavy as usual, and have a nice weekend on top of that.